I had to take a second to kind of make this video feed. It's going to be a little bit long, but if you're here for at least like 5 minutes of time, you'll get to know a little bit more about who I am, what I do, and just basically kind of at the top of the year, know what to expect coming from Lottie and anything Syla media related. So my name is Lottie the musician. I call myself Lottie the musician because I don't like to be boxed out in however my art expresses itself. It's really, I'm an artist first. I've done visual art, I've played guitar, I've played drums, I rap, I sing, I create, I curate shows together. I do all those things under this movement that I like to call Syla media. And I know that it's always bigger than me. And when I got into making music and art my career, I knew that I couldn't expect my success without expecting the success of my immediate artists. Like, who is your next door neighbor that's also an artist? Who are the artists that come to the shows that you come to? Who are the artists that actually bring people to the shows that you see and that you perform at? And a lot of the times, I know that a lot of people are kind of more headstrong or caught up about leaving their city and blowing up somewhere else and being a bigger act in a different city or a different country. And that's wonderful. And if that happens for any artist that I support or associate with, I'm proud of them. But I have always kind of been of the notion to champion the local artist in the local scene, because I believe that when that dies, it won't really matter how tethered we are to a major superstar. It's cool to see these people transcend where they've come from, but to not come back to where they've come from and try to cultivate those grounds to breed more and more better artists, more disciplined artists, thriving local community of support for one another in ways that doesn't just involve exchanging cash in some meaningless fashion, but actually involves me imbuing some of my art to you. That's always gonna be the legacy that I wanna lead and that I wanna leave. If that means in some point that I get the recognition on a national level or an international level, that's wonderful. But my truest form of success will come to me when I know that I've been able to do everything that I can and leave it out on the floor and supporting every local artist and every local business that has supported me in some fashion, or that I would like to see help grow for the city that I'm in or the city that my homies are in. And that's what Syla Media has always been about. Support your local artists will probably forever be the acronym that I tie myself to. If you want to work with me, it's not that hard to reach me right now. But you also have to associate yourself with a certain discipline and know that you want to do this art thing as a longevity. It's not just a money grab. It's something that you see that you want to do and support other people in doing. And you're ready for those low numbers and those low streams and unsuccessful releases. Ready for seeing only 4 people that you invited pull up to the show out of the hundreds of people that you messaged, and understanding that those failures are going to help us build success somehow. If we can look at the symptoms, there's limits to that, but if we can look at the problem underneath it that's causing all those symptoms, that I honestly think you'll literally understand how the root of that is basically cultivating an art community. Because education is an important thing, there's that. But the arts in education, being a part of it, being a part of how that community transmits money from hand to hand, like how people exchange money by buying from somebody who's down the street, who you know needs that money more so than a corporate head or some larger person who doesn't need your financial funds. People always wonder why that middle class is shrinking. And if it wasn't already clear why that middle class is shrinking and the poor class is growing bigger and bigger, just look at what Corona did. I listened to this episode of What a Day Today, and a lot of people called from Austin, our own sister city here in Texas, talking about how the coronavirus had affected some of their jobs, how those weren't coming back. Unemployment was still like up and down for a minute there. Congress and Senate couldn't get it together to really pass some stimulus for us. There's people who still have to deal with this on a hand-to-hand basis, and that's not even like considering those who have actually suffered loss from the coronavirus. I myself contracted it, but I'm healthy enough to where I was likely able to go over it, quarantine myself and get better without a lot of heavy treatment. People close to me did know people who had to like go to the hospital. I know someone, my personal barber, his dad, he died, and he knew some family members that died in the last 2 months since Christmas got together and spiked some numbers. So this is a real pandemic problem affecting real people. Same time, cannot say to not be cautious about how I operate supporting local artists. So my energy since 2020 happened in March has shifted from really performance-based to really recording and live through Facebook or Instagram shows, putting that platform to use. I encourage us to basically still be able to surround each other and support ourselves as local artists, but be safe about it. So RVC, an event that I had this last Wednesday, supports local artists from Fort Worth mostly. They're doing a virtual / in-person show, and that's been like a pretty cool thing to see slowly cultivate. I'm so thankful to Trang and Manny for really like putting their efforts together to make that happen. We may have some differences in how I feel about Speakeasy, but I'm thankful that they're able to still shine and support local artists in whatever way they can. If you listen to a podcast, if you listen to a stream, if you build a playlist with your favorite local artists on there, it helps kickstart the algorithms. There's all these tiny things you can do to support your local artist. And if you are with me on that move and understanding that together we're stronger, make it through this pandemic, no matter what it is, I thank you, because you understand basically the legacy of what it means to support a local artist. And I'll always be here championing that for you. And I just hope that you continue to champion that for me.